Hello everyone, this is Zooc and today I'm bringing you a new logo design video. This one is going to be for Tamar, which in Arabic means dates, and not the dates like, hey baby, want to go out, but the dates, the fruit of the palm tree, of the date palm. I mentioned this on Twitter and in previous videos a couple of times. I was excited to share this video because I think it's a cool project, and I finally got the okay to post it after, I think I finished it about 3 weeks ago, so I'm posting it today. Basically, it's a very simple logo. It's very clean. It took a while to make, but you know, and if you watch only the video, you're not going to be impressed because I basically filmed the process when I was rebuilding it after I had gone through several iterations of it. So let's talk about the dates. I had to do quite a bit of research on dates and what they're all about because after I finished a couple of logos for my client, I had to do a brochure as well, and I had to write the entire copy for it. So for that to happen, I required quite a bit of scientific information. So when you mention dates to a European or American or someone that doesn't live in and around those areas where they grow, they won't really make much of it. Dates are like seldom found in recipes from what I've seen, at least not the usual European style recipes or American ones, and they're not a very popular fruit. They're visually unappealing, they're wrinkly and kind of gross looking, but upon reading about their contents and what they're actually about, these fruit are actually quite amazing. I would lean to think that they should be a staple part of the diet because they have so much in them, so many minerals and like proteins with crazy amounts of amino acids and sugars that don't assimilate and like a crazy amount of fiber and phosphorus, and they're packed with stuff that's good for you. So I guess that it's a pretty good reason why people living in the Arabian Peninsula and around those parts have been eating them for about 6,000 years or so. They've been quite a staple in their diet, and they're pretty amazing. They're really cool. I'm actually going to start including them in mine because they're too good to pass on, compared to the usual fruit that gets used by celebrity chefs in recipes like, oh, bananas, oranges, whoa, strawberries. Fucking sick of that. Sick of strawberries. Dates are a fascinating fruit. So let's talk about the logo. Basically, the idea was to capture the shape of a date. The date has quite a nondescriptive shape, if you will. It's sort of like an ellipse with a bit of a bulging end. So it looks like nothing really. But if you associate it, then you immediately recognize the shape. And inside the date, I wanted to include the image of a desert fading into the horizon because that's where they come from. Dates grow or date palms grow in an arid climate. You won't find them in Nebraska. So I got the little sand dunes going, the lines going into the horizon, and the color choice, that was mostly the client's color choice. He wanted to include colors that are found in Saudi Arabia, like the dark reds, probably color that gets used in their art or traditional art or so. Dark red, sand, dark brown, blood red, stuff like that. And so I include that in the sand dunes just to make a little color separation. So it looks like an artisanal logo. It looks like something you'd find on a small shop that handles, whatever artisanal handmade products. It sort of radiates that feeling, and I think it's really cool to illustrate because this logo is going to get used for export. As far as I know, it's going to be basically the sub-brand of the National Center that handles only dates. And it's meant to appeal to people that are not familiar with them, like us, basically, Europeans, Americans, etc., to make the fruit more appealing to a market that's not used to it. So this one, I think, is a good balance of what qualifies as modern and the artisanal aspect of it. Like food. When you talk about food, is sort of it does have an artisanal side to it. I'm talking about factories, but you imagine the palms growing in the desert. People picking them and sorting them, and it's a lot of work, and you need people for that. And so this logo to me seems like something that illustrates both those concepts pretty well. And you wouldn't think about it. I mean, it's an ellipse with a bunch of colors in them and some white lines. But when you're invested in the topic, then you come up with interpretations that make sense to you and the people that are equally as invested. So it's just little subtle hints in the viewer's mind about that. I got the little rhombus in the center, which is a symbol that gets used in Arabic a lot. The dots that get in calligraphy, mostly the dots that they have on the letters. I have no idea how to read Arabic, I'm sorry, but I just know they use that. And so I included that there as a little hint to where the product comes from. It required the subtitle, of course, and if it didn't have the subtitle, it wouldn't mean much to someone that doesn't speak Arabic, because a person that speaks Arabic would recognize that Tamar means dates, or I think it's Tamar. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Something like that. But it makes for a pretty decent name on its own, to further give it another layer of meaning, if you know what I mean. So, the white lines in the logo do a good job at making it more visible on at a smaller scale. There's separators, there's negative space. You always want some of that. Also, if you switch to a single color, for example, for printing on, let's say, a canvas bag in which the dates are put in, or a cardboard box, if it didn't have the white lines, it would be just a blob of black or white, and you don't want that. At least with the lines, I had a little bit of back and forth with my client about the white lines. He didn't trust me, and I explained to him that they're pretty necessary to make it more visible. So if it goes to one color, then you'll have the separators, and you'll still have the image of the desert dunes fading into the horizon line. So I enjoyed making the project. I got to look at a lot of food-related logos and stuff like that, but it's not really food, because you're not selling the food, you're selling the idea. The idea of dates, this mysterious oriental fruit that is like super good for you, and it's a friendly approach, because Arabic culture is vastly different from generic Europeans, so they have a different outlook on things, and in terms of marketing, then we might not agree on what's friendly or pleasing to the eye or whatnot. So this sort of bridges those two worlds together if you're talking about an export, because Arabs care about their Arabic. If you look at an Arabic logo, it's generally made out of Arabic, drawn in some pretty fancy way, like calligraphy, or some really clever way of using the words. So to Europeans, it looks mysterious, exotic, but it's not approachable. It's on the other side. Well, this one is kind of what we're used to seeing on a daily basis on the internet, on really any website. It's really modern and clean and very European, if you know what I mean. So I'm really happy with it, and my client was as well. It took like a whopping 2 days to finish the entire thing, and it went by pretty quick. Everyone's pleased. I got more commissions after that. I'm still working on stuff, and we have an ongoing relationship, and I keep making stuff for them, and it's pretty cool. I like expanding my client base. It's awesome. So I hope you enjoyed it. I think it's a really cool, simple, but still stylish logo. And thanks for watching. Rate that shit, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.